Butterflies return someday.
So I wanted to give voice to this because we're in a tough season for people who've survived violence, and that is we have a, major politician embroiled in, running for U.S. Senate in the United States, and there are some allegations around domestic violence and other very, very terrible and traumatizing situations to women. And, sometimes I think that we like to think that we are better than this and beyond this. We like to say, oh, well, what about, go back to some point in the past. Why aren't we better after that? Because it really does take active, intentional change, not just time passing. So, unfortunately, things can get rough for survivors. So I just wanted to say, over on Survivor Affirmations, we have a post, When Reality is Contested, how survivors protect their truth in controlled narratives. And so we have some tips for folks who might be trying to navigate some things, that we hope will help. I talk about protected spaces. Survivors need rooms where there is no performance required. Now, that can be therapy, but also trusted friendships, spaces with friends, women-centered spaces, spiritual practice, journaling, or even private routines where nothing has to be explained to other people. The key is this: not every space is for public interpretation. Some spaces are for integration, self-integration, pain integration. If everything becomes shareable, nothing becomes fully processed. So I want to jump right into those affirmations, so, in hopes that they help. Affirmation 1. My experience is real, even when it is misunderstood. I do not need outside agreement to trust what I lived. I'm allowed to take my time before I respond or explain. Clarity is not something I owe on demand. And that's challenging because when folks come forward with talking about how their bodies have been trespassed upon, people act like you were on the clock. Why now? Why not then? Why didn't you do this immediately following? I would have done this. Now, nobody knows what they would have done. We like to think we would, because that's part of the way that we kind of, protect protect ourselves from reality. But if you could give yourself that little thing, clarity is not something I owe on demand. It's okay if you haven't quite figured everything out yet. I can protect my peace without justifying it. My boundaries are not a debate. They're information. My boundaries are not a debate. They are information. I do not have to make the truth comfortable for others to hear it. I can hold my story privately until I choose to share it. This happened to me, not you. You don't get to, manage it and you don't get to do that. Slowness can be strength, not avoidance. I am not responsible for other people's comfort with my awareness. I can step back from anything that pressures me to doubt myself. I'm allowed to outgrow narratives that no longer fit my life. Finally, I remain whole, even after what I've moved and healed through. For survivors, one of the things that people tend to find healing and grounding is an identity that's anchored in something deeper, like faith, like values, community, inner knowing. And then when someone disagrees with, things that have happened to you or with things you know to be true, then that stops being destabilizing. It becomes noise you can evaluate. Instead of a verdict, you have to absorb. And survivorship is not just about what happened to you. It's about whether you're allowed to remain the author of what it means. And you can do that. And that's what often these affirmations are about. Putting you in control of your own narrative. Systems, whether, they be cultural, relational, or institutional, often try to outsource that authorship. As I said, they try to make you think, they're the manager of your story. You're on my clock, like you putting in a work date. Oh, why now? Why this? Sign for this. You don't have to do that. They try to outsource that authorship, and they don't have to succeed. Healing is the steady, gradual return of you being the author of what your experience meant for you. Thanks for listening. This is Tonya GJ Prince. Thanks for listening. Y'all be great.